All right, so in a little bit, we're leaving for a place called Riley's Farm. I've actually been to this place before. It's kind of like I'm revisiting childhood memories, but I don't remember much from it. I was in fifth grade the last time I've been here, but the some of the things I do remember, it's kind of like a ranch. If you guys don't know what a ranch is, it's fine. We're gonna find out. But it kind of reminded me of a ranch. It taught us how to like make butter and stuff, kind of like what the Pilgrims did and all the settlers did. Um, and one of the one of the things I do like prominently remember or like vibrantly remember is the reenactment of the Revolutionary War or a battle of the Revolutionary War, which as a kid, as a fifth grader, was like one of the greatest things I've ever done in my life. So that's gonna be fun. I don't know how much has changed, and I don't know how much is the same. But we're gonna find out. We're gonna dive real deep into my childhood memories. So let's go and do that. All right, Ryan, you ready?
Yes.
You excited? Come on, it's for your schooling. It's for your education. You have to be excited. It's like a requirement. You have to be excited. Because if I'm more excited than you, then I have a problem. You're the main character today. There's no main character, it's just me and you, so you're the main character, okay?
Okay.
Alright. It's actually exactly how I remember it, dude. Raleigh's Farm, she died right there. Dude, tomahawks? I don't remember throwing tomahawks. I don't remember archery either. What the heck?
Yeah, you can throw tomahawks.
Apparently. There's
What
the
is
map
that?
right here.
Revolution?
All I remember was making butter in the Revolutionary War, and then we did some knitting. That's like all I remember. All right, so you got Concord, and it's blue. So I'm assuming you're a patriot because Brooklyn was red. Those are for the British. Those are for the lobster backs. I don't remember. We didn't get to throw maybe because we were rowdy children. That's probably why. Probably would have ended up killing each other with the tomahawk. See, the Revolutionary War is gonna take place right here.
Okay.
Right in this wide area. They're gonna bring out a cannon and everything. I was over there. I was in the forest.
Really?
Yeah, right over there. My friend Brandon died.
Really?
Yeah.
What happened?
Because what they're gonna do is they're gonna give you numbers. So they're gonna give you numbers and they'll be like, okay, number 4's drop. And number 4's have to drop. I was number 1. I didn't have to drop. It's very nostalgic, dude. I'm having childhood memories flood back into my brain because of how nostalgic this place. This was one of the best field trips. This was one of the best field trips I've ever had in elementary school. Yes, this is easily a top 5 field trip ever had. Easily top 5, top 3 maybe.
Now, place your feet together. Place your arms by your sides, your chins up, your smiles down. Stop smiling. Stop that. Do not smile. Very good. Dear heavens, directly disobeying orders. How many rum rations have you had this morning?
You're wearing the wrong colours today, aren't you? Right over here.
I do not believe you. Are you giggling? It's disgusting. Dear heavens. Seems some of you are French after all.
Oh,
You there? Did you take a spill in a blueberry patch?
You didn't even bring weapons?
No, certain.
We're a militia, not a military. I don't have money to buy you.
See, your hair is quite strange. I can see the reflection of the sun upon
I mean,
it.
I do, but I'm not going to.
Why is this? You do not know.
That colour.
woke
I
up
like
like
the colour of your jacket, so it's a good colour. Pretty much the complete opposite of that gross colour.
Yeah, smiley one. That one. Right there. No, not you. Behind the giggler. That one's French. Yes, you're French there? Because of his size there. Well, and falling over on the ground many times. Oh, yes. A Joey Camambler. Yes, that's correct there. Very well. Spanish rum or French wine is shop. What is that man carrying? Pardon me, would you mind stepping down just then? Place what is these? You saw in violation of the Iron Act of 1750. Get off of me! I won't have this! Corporal, form up! Stand down! Okay. You there, stand down immediately.
Weapons against me, eh?
Turn yourself in or face fire, sir. You are in violation of His Majesty's Iron Act of 1750.
Violation of nothing! It's a ridiculous law!
Sir,
Stand down!
turn yourself in or we will fire upon
I'm
you.
not going anywhere!
Hey,
I've
ready?
done nothing wrong!
Stand down.
You're not
Present.
scaring me! I'm not scared!
Fire.
I'll make sure he's dead, sir.
This is the reward for treason against the King's army. Recall! Very well, face forward.
Very well. Ladies and gentlemen, by the way of formal introduction, my name is Corporal Watkins. How are you all faring this fine morning?
Well,
Excuse me, let's try this again. By the way of formal introduction, my name is Corporal Watkins. And how are you all faring this fine morning? Let's try this once more, shall we? My name is Corporal Watkins. How are you all faring? Some of you have answered probably, but yet some of you have not. For I have addressed you myself, a servant of the king, have addressed you with the utmost of respect and other qualities, and your response was, and I quote, "Good. Is this showing me proper respect? Is it even showing proper grammar? Nay or nay?" Nay, that is correct, because the correct response would be faring well. Let us try this all now, shall we? How are you all faring this fine morning? Faring well, that is correct. Now, have you all been properly trained in the ways of proper manners? Yea or nay? Well, for those of you that have not, I would be inclined to teach you. Now, before we can continue any further, I will be giving you this lesson. Now, for perhaps a shilling or two, who can tell me what a fancy word for proper manners is, by raise of hands? Does anyone know? Does anyone know what the fancy word for proper manners is? Starts with an E.
Etiquette.
Yes. Etiquette, that is correct. Well done, young lady. Indeed, etiquette. Etiquette is the practice of good manners in the presence of others. Now, I will be teaching you how to always have proper manners in the presence of others. Starting off with the first lesson of an introduction. So may I have the assistance of one young gentleman and one young lady? Perhaps a parent or teacher could call upon them. Now let's say, for example, you've not met each other before. You must say hello to each other for the first time. Now, who can tell me here who will begin the interaction? Does anyone know? By raise of hands? Yes? The gentleman, that is correct. Now, sir, why is it the gentleman? You are? Because the gentleman must show that he is a gentleman. Sir, are you a gentleman? Say you are a gentleman. That is correct, you are a gentleman. You must show this characteristic to the young lady. For a gentleman is very confident. Say confident. Not confident. Say confident. Say confident. Shake your fist in the air and say confident. That is correct. You must show this confidence to whoever you are dealing with. So, you are going to greet the young lady for the first time. Step forward and give your greetings to the first young lady, to the lady for your first time. Very well, now that's a fine greeting. Now, sir, perhaps if I may have you step back. Let's attempt something different this time. For a gentleman is very confident. Say confident once more. Yes, you are confident. So, what you will do, to show that you are confident, is you must give a bow. Do you know how to bow? Give me your best bow. Sir, very close, but you must disarm yourself first. You have a weapon here. Let's hold it to your side first. Very well, hold it to your side. And you shall take the brim of your hat, stomp your right foot forward, place your left hand upon your hip, or your weapon hand, I should say, upon your hip like so. And you shall say, "Good day, madam." Well done. Round of applause for the gentleman. Round of applause for him. He's come so far. Now, it is time for the young lady to respond. Now, the young lady is not so much as confident as she is reserved. Say reserved. Say reserved.
Reserved.
Say reserved. That'll do. Now, young lady, you must show this characteristic to whoever you are dealing with. So, what you shall do is you shall give a curtsy. You know how to curtsy? Show me your best curtsy. Very fine indeed, very fine indeed. See, you will take your left foot, put behind your right, grab the sides of your skirt, Bend at the knees. Pull your dress outwards. Do not pull upwards. If you pull upwards, he will see your ankle sitting running through the hills crying for his mother. So you never pull upwards. Make sure you only pull outwards. Bend at the knees and give a slight head. Well done. Round of applause for her. Now she must also say something to the young gentleman, for she cannot give a curtsy and then proceed to walk away. She must say something to the gentleman. Now what you must say is, I am faring well. And you? Not and you. And you? And you? Well, try this one more. Listen very carefully. You must tell the gentleman that you are asking him a question. So say, and you? Well done. Round of applause there. Round of applause. Now that after this interaction has been completed, they must say goodbye to each other. Now the goodbye is not some goodbye. You must say farewell. Say farewell. Say farewell. Then they can both part ways. Round of applause for the two. Round of applause. And this is a book of rules. Rules regarding what? Civility, etiquette. Everyone say etiquette.
Etiquette.
Etiquette. This is a book about etiquette. This small red book will detail the rules of civility and how you should conduct yourself in the presence of others. Who can tell me who wrote this book? George Washington, that is correct. George Washington was around the age of 16 when he wrote this book. Is that a very young age to write a book?
Yes.
Yes, it is indeed. And George Washington didn't create etiquette, but he simply compiled them into rules. He created 110 rules, making it easier for all of us to understand etiquette, the way to conduct yourself in proper manner. Now, the first rule of civility of the 110 that he wrote reads this. And while I'm reading, I would like everyone to find the key word in this sentence. Can you all do this for me? Yes. Very well. Every action done in company ought to be with some sign of respect to those that are present. What was the key word? Yes.
Respect.
Respect. That is correct. Respect. Respect. You should always have respect for whoever you are with. Should you have respect for your friends and your family?
Yes.
For your parents and teachers? For myself and my colleagues? Even to your enemies? Yes, you should always have respect to whoever you are dealing with. There is a simple matter of battle etiquette whenever you enter the field. One of these ways to conduct yourself even on the battlefield to show that you have respect for your enemy is that there are musicians playing on the battlefield, correct? Drummers and such and fifers. All of these individuals are never to be harmed whenever they enter into the battlefield. For it takes some amount of time to learn an instrument, and if you slay all of the musicians, then they have no one to lead them into battle. It's not very fair at all. So there is a simple matter of battle etiquette whenever you are on the battlefield. You must always show your enemies with
Respect.
respect. Who must you show? What must you show to everyone you deal with? Respect. That is correct. Now everyone say the word conscience.
Conscience.
Who can tell me what is your conscience?
Your discernment between guilt and good doings and bad doings.
That is correct. That
Damn.
deserves 2 shillings. Now, sir, that is
Some
correct.
high
It is your
class.
own discernment of what is good and what is bad. Should you always, George Washington says, you should always labor to keep alive in your breast that little celestial fire called conscience. You should always be thinking about what you should and you should not do. Should you be rolling around in the mud and then come inside and make everything dirty? No. Should you be speaking while someone else is speaking to you? No. Should you be pushing everyone around at play and certain things? No. You should always be thinking about what you should and you should not do that. Nathan, step forward. Nathan, yes? Are you Nathan? You don't look like a Nathan. Are you lying? Oh yes, now you look like a Nathan. Yes, no. Master Nathan, you are hereby remanded into royal custody and charged formally with the crime of smuggling. You will now enter a plea. Are you innocent or guilty? Of course he's innocent. They're always innocent, aren't they? Now, Master Nathan, your crimes are hereby as follows. 2 years ago, you were seen boarding the trade ship the Libertoire with a trunk full of finished iron goods. It was determined by the authorities at the time you were a smuggler. Are you a smuggler? Of course you are. Now, you were arrested, your goods were seized, and you and your goods have been in custody these past 2 years. Today you are being formally charged, and you have already pleaded with innocent or guilty. Of course he is. Now, Ahem. Master Nathan, to the bench of shame! Have a seat. Don't trip. Now, Master Nathan, you may step forward and plead to the courtroom. Tell them why you are innocent. Why are you innocent? Very well, I've heard enough. To the bench of shame! If I may have a parent or teacher call upon two witnesses.
Ryan.
Step forward, step forward. Who else? Witness number 2, step forward. Witness number 2. Witness number 2. Say your name and profession. What is your profession? Very well, I've heard enough. Now, witness number 2, continue reading your statement. Read witness number 2 statement. Stop, point to the accused. Everyone gasp! 2 witnesses, I say, Master Ryan, continue reading.
You mean to be a person familiar with her smuggling?
With his smuggling habits.
With his smuggling habits. Your Honor, she offended me 20 pounds, not to
She offered you 20 pounds, excuse me, he offered you 20 pounds not to testify. A bribe? Did you accept the bribe?
No.
You did not accept the bribe. You sure? Are you lying? Are you positive? So you're positively declaring that you could not be guilty? You took the bribe?
No.
Very well, you did not take the bribe then.
No.
You took the bribe then?
No.
Which is it, sir? Yes or no? Did you take the bribe? Very well. Have a seat. Thank you very much for listening. A bribery in my own courtroom. For shame. Now, witness number 2, step forward. There's something else that troubles me about your testimony as well. You say he offered you a bribe of 20 pounds. Is that correct?
Yes.
He offered you a bribe of 20 pounds. And you did not accept this bribe. Is that correct?
Yes.
Now, sir, I am a very astute judge and a very perceptive judge, and I noticed you purchased yourself a brand new pair of shoes. Sir, did you accept the bribe and then buy yourself a brand new pair of shoes? Which is it? Yes or no? Yay or nay? Which is it? Which is it? You did not buy yourself a brand new pair of shoes. So how much do you suppose those shoes would fetch you?
$5.
20 pounds, sir! You are saying you accept the bribe and purchased yourself a brand new pair of shoes? Yay or nay? Very well, I find you guilty of bribery. It's the best of shame!
Company! Attention! Oh, that made me sad. Attention! Going to have to be much louder than that. Attention! No, you don't say attention back. Attention! Oh, my grandman can say hot louder than you. Attention! That'll have to do. Order your fire. Look! A musket does not go. Doesn't go. Doesn't go. Your musket makes one sound. Since you only have one bullet, you're only going to make that sound one time. And I will demonstrate that sound for you. Boom! As loud as you can. Very good. Company, reload. I didn't hear any of you spit out the end of that cartridge. Apparently a lot of you ate it. Victory! Freeze it! Fire! Sorry, what? You gonna try that again? Very good.
Now, recently, a regiment of King George III soldiers were quartered within my home, within my property nearby. Now, when the captain demands that I'm to provide quarters, I raise of hands. What are quarters? What are quarters?
A place to stay.
There we have it. Everyone, what are quarters?
A place to stay.
Rooms within the home. Now, if everyone could assist me, I owe you a shilling later. Now, correct. Rooms within the home, quarters. Now, quarters are being commanded, on account of an act, a law, which King George III in his British Parliament passed originally last decade, however, amended this law, this act, recently now, this is the good year of our Lord 1775, that act was recently, within these last couple of years, amended. Now, on account of this act, this law, we in the colonies are not only to house, quarter, the soldiers amongst us, but even within our own properties, and even during times of peace. Now, as happy as I am to have a standing army, as happy as I am to provide hospitality, this, however, is being done against our consent. No one within the colonies was able to vote upon this act or any other suggestion. Now, by raise of hand, do you remember the name of the act I described? Well, I do find it intolerable because none of us were able to vote upon it within the colonies. However, the name of this specific act. Well, I did not describe a situation in which I'm paying a tax, though they are taxing my patience. Anyone else before we make this a group effort? All right. Now, everyone, a law is also known as an act. And if we are forced to quarter them, if I am quartering them, oh, I gave you the answer. I was going to say if I'm housing them. If I'm housing them, I am quartering them. So what is the name of the act that was amended? Oh, say it. No, if I'm housing them, I am quartering. So what is the name of the act? Very well done, exactly. Then, ladies and gentlemen, do you appreciate laws being passed upon which you and your family do not vote? No. Do you appreciate the intrusion into your home and life as a result? No. Now also, ladies and gentlemen, even though the quarters are to be provided per the act, nonetheless the captain is quite demanding. This day he demanded several dozen portions of bread for the regiment alone. Several dozen portions of bread. And he vexes me. Nay, they would be done, I would like them to be done differently. They would be finished already otherwise. Tell me, do I have enough dough? No. I still do not have enough dough. I still must mill more flour and churn cream into butter. So I will be so bold as to ask, might I ask for your assistance? I would appreciate this.
You're right. You get that green right there.
You put your initials.
You green that shit right there. You shred it right there. Yeah, you get that arm workout right there. You shred it right there. Yeah, you slosh that butter right there. You get right in there. Yeah, you slosh it around right there. You get that. You sloshing it right there. You slosh it right. Yeah, make it that sloshy sound. Let me hear it. Yo, yeah, you should make that sloshy sound right there. That's a large piece right there, brother. There's a large piece right there. Okay, now roll in your hand. There you go. And you roll it up right there like a roly-poly only. You put it right in there. Roll it up like a ball right there. Got it right there. How you liking it so far? It's fun? You were tried guilty. How do you feel about that?
Hey,
You were guilty.
that guy made it harder.
As many of you bright Harvard and Yale-bound scholars know, in the year of our Lord 1775, Boston was little more than an island, with a thin neck of land connecting it to the mainland. The British Army holed up on that island was surrounded by the gathering militia, some say 20,000 strong. On the morning of June 26, 1775, there stood a lone sentry atop the porch of the George Tavern. He looked out towards Boston across the Appalachians at Roxbury, and he saw an ominous sea of red marching towards him. What do you suppose that was?
The Red Caps.
What do you suppose that was? Aye, the British Army. All of you on my left, behind the British flag, will be fighting for the British Army holding the attack upon the tavern. All of you on my right, the colonial flag here, shall be fighting to defend the tavern. With that all said, are you quite ready to kill one another?
Each man's got thinking on apple pies. Are we going to let him? Yeah! And the cookies. Are we going to let him? Yeah! Good. We are going to stand here.
Oh!
Oh my gosh!
Right. I was going to eat that. Now they've ruined my lunch. Make ready. We'll wait for them to get a little bit closer. Now, do you see straps they have make a nice little white X on their chest. You can aim just a little bit below that. We're going to give them a second belly button. Oh, great, they're split into two groups. Focus on that group first. Breathe. Fire! Reload. Make ready. Breathe. Fire! Reload. Everyone, you over. Focus on that group. Everyone else focus on that group. Reload. Make ready. Recent discouragement. Repeat after me. King George is a fatty fat. Very good. You see those red coats? Makes him look like a lobster, doesn't it? So when I say what's for dinner, you say lobster. What's for dinner? Breathe in. Hold. Hold. Down, everyone down, you've just been slain! You're a man to be sent back to our family! Everyone go Let's finish this time! Very good! Well done, everyone!
Because I'll be the first to admit that it might seem a bit silly running around on a field on a hot day like today, carrying a stick and yelling boom. What you all just took part in is part of a grand old American tradition. It is a tradition that is older than America herself. See, 8 times a year, the militia and the Minutemen would gather on their public house greens to practice the discipline of war, sometimes from the ages of small boys. But they did not do this because they loved war, but quite to the contrary. They loved their lands, their homes, their livelihoods. Like few generations before them, they loved their liberty, enough to give their lives. Now there's a story that's always touched my heart. Pray you'd pay attention to it for just a moment. About a man who came from immigrant stock. He sailed across the sea to try and find a better life in America. And he found it. You see, this man ended up fighting for his new country, not his old one. However, he found himself at a very bad spot in the American Revolution, on top of Fort Moultrie in the Charleston Harbor, when a great man of war, great British gunship, sailed in the harbor there and began raining cannonballs upon the fort. Same fort where that young sergeant stood. One of those cannonball scholars struck the sergeant sidelong in the belly, removed his stomach entirely, and killed him. But in his closing moments, for that's all he had, he said something to his friends that they never forgot, even when they were old men. I pray it's something that echoes through time, and it's something you never forget. You see, he did not ask his friends for comfort. Instead he said, "Lads, Don't let liberty die with me. For he knew his young life was at an end, but he was more concerned with the cause. Now, if you don't remember anything about today, perhaps the strange clothing, the silly characters, the unusual food, we pray you would remember, scholars, that there were Americans, and there still are Americans today, who love all of you and what you believe in enough to give their lives. Now, I might be a bit hot, perhaps a bit tired, perhaps a bit bored listening to me. Very shortly you're going to board those cars and you're going to travel to a wonderful sweet place called home. There's food on the table, friends next door, and all the comforts of modern life. But I pray when you do that, scholars, you keep in your mind all the soldiers throughout time, from the Lexington Green to Bunker Hill to the beaches of Normandy and beyond, who never got that chance to go home. Because they gave their lives so all of you could live in a nation where you can vote for your elected officials, where you can speak your mind and not be arrested for it, where you can keep and bear arms to defend yourself, and many other liberties that are far too numerous to name here and now. They gave their lives so all of you could live free. And if you think those freedoms are shared around the world, there's something everyone has, I'd like to correct you. You see, there are places in the world today, scholars, where women are not allowed to drive cars, much less vote. Is that the country you'd like to pass down to your children?
Nay, sir.
There are places in the world tonight where poor souls your age go to sleep behind barbed wire fences, starving and freezing to their deaths because they said something their government didn't agree with. Is that the country for your children?
Nay, sir.
There are places in the world today, in the year 2019, where people are still bought and sold as slaves. Is that the America for the next generation?
Nay, sir.
Then I pray you to remember, despite her faults, and she does have many, the country that was given to you, and the price that was paid. Freedom is not free. It is bought with the tears of mothers who will never see their children again. And the only reason you have it is because millions of Americans fought and died to pass it on to you. Indeed, they say liberty is a chain. You are all very much the next link in that chain. The future of our great republic sits right here on the screen, and it is up to all of you to keep it. Now, you've been a fine group of scholars this day. I've enjoyed your visit here to the farm to learn about history. We'd like to thank you once more on behalf of Riley's farm, the Riley's staff, and the Riley's family. And we do hope to see you, your friends, and your families again very soon. Thank you.
Hip hip! Huzzah!
Huzzah!
Hip hip!
Huzzah!